New details emerge about Antifa's ties to the Kurdish militia in northern Syria, and One America's Jack Posobiec explains from Washington.
Here speaking on One America News once again with Brad Johnson, former CIA officer and the president of Americans for Intelligence Reform. Brad, thank you so much for sitting down with us again.
Jack, it's always great to see you. Thank you for having me.
Everyone in Washington is talking about President Trump's decision to essentially remove American forces from northern Syria, where they had been sort of aligned along the border between Turkey and what's considered the Kurdish-held areas there. Now it looks like Turkey is making an incursion. What's going on? How did all of this get started in Syria?
This is actually a leftover mess, if you will, from the previous administration under Obama. They went in and were trying to take out Assad, the president of Syria. So that's how we got involved and kind of bogged down in this whole thing. And the President Trump has said all along that he wants to get out of these sorts of incursions. Last December, he was going to pull the troops out entirely and let the Turks then backfill against that. And there was a lot of pushback because of our allies, the Kurds. And as we all know, the Turks, their main terrorist target in that area is the PKK, Kurdish troops. So that was why it was put on hold last December.
President Trump, of course, made the comment, as well as Lindsey Graham has made in the past, that the Obama administration was funding and arming this group, the PKK. The PKK has been a terrorist group inside of Turkey. They also used this conflict as a way to align with U.S. forces against Assad and ISIS, but also to try to form their own sort of PKK-led area within northern Syria. And that's something that the Turks just were never going to allow to happen.
And now you also have the development, the Turks are insisting on they have a 300-mile border in common with this area of Syria where the Kurds have been in control. And they want to have a 300-mile long, 20-mile deep buffer zone and they plan on taking the tens of thousands of displaced Syrians and moving them into that area. But there's many additional complications, one of which that floats right to the top is ISIS.
Right.
Many of the refugees, those refugee camps are controlled by ISIS. They recruit within those ranks for ISIS.
Throughout the Obama administration's wishful thinking about what would happen if they, went after Assad the way they did, is not only did the PKK gain this land in northern Syria, but they were attracting Western fighters to come over and join their ranks. They set up an organization or a battalion that they called YPG International. But if you actually go back and look at the original name of that specific battalion, it wasn't YPG International. The original name was the International Antifa Battalion.
The rumors are that Antifa sent in about 500 troops to fight in this, many of which were killed, many of which survived to then come back. What does Antifa want with a bunch of seasoned combat veterans? Why do they need that to supplement their movement? So it's a very interesting question as to what precisely they were up to.
Well, the PKK is a designated terrorist group from the U.S. government and from the Turkish government. So if we've got a group in the U.S. that has ties to a designated terrorist group, then it's actually not that hard to convey that designation onto them.
And I don't think Turkey's going to look with a friendly eye upon any Antifa troops they catch in that area, if they're still there. I would expect that to turn out very poorly. The Turks are not going to tolerate very much of that.
Brad, where can people go to find more information?
Americans for Intelligence Reform, our website is intelreform.org.
Brad Johnson, thank you so much. Always a pleasure.
Jack, thank you.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube. And call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.